Hey, welcome to the Vintage Vibe. We're taking a peek at a pretty neat little receiver here on our workbench today. It's a realistic STA-95. It's certainly got that vintage look that everyone's looking for in a classic receiver. Nice big shiny knobs, we'll call it receiver jewelry. Get the signal meters, the tuning meters, and what I particularly like about this unit is that nice orange glow. Probably just a beauty to look at in a nice dark lit room where you got your favorite records spinning, just enjoying the vintage tunes. Doesn't get much better than this for an inexpensive classic receiver. And it didn't come to us this clean looking. Right now you can kind of see the application of some nice Dutch oil, brought out the grain, the wood grain, makes it look nice and rich. As well as the faceplate on this unit, it really came out quite nice when I got it. It was just completely filthy. I really didn't think it was going to come out as nice as this. So we're going to spend a minute to talk a little bit about the realistic brand, the particular kind of attributes to the STA-95, a little bit about its sound signature, basic maintenance, what to expect, and what it's going to cost to find one of these. And then last but not least, is it a yay or is it a nay when it comes to vintage audio? To me, realistic and the realistic brand really means value. Radio Shack, which is really the mother company obviously of realistic, born out of a era where you were kind of encouraged to do it yourself, especially electronics, a hobby that was gaining popularity in the 60s and 70s. Not only did realistic sell your basic tools you're required to do electronics work, but they sold kits as well as kind of house brand equipment like this unit here. The realistic STA-95 was not the top of the line model in the lineup. In fact, it would have been kind of a mid-range model, but it's got all the looks of one of the bigger pioneers or other more popular brands of the era. It's only rated at about 45 watts a channel, but that's more than enough power probably for most vintage setups. Inside the unit you've got a modest sized transformer, 4 outputs that look like they're the Trio brand, or Kenwood we would call it, as well as a couple filter capacitors, some neat laid out boards. All in all, you know, a fairly decent put together piece. Basic features: control a couple different speakers, you've got low and high pass filters, bass, treble, tape monitors, dubbing, your volume, balance, loudness, FM emphasis, mono, and then your selector for AM, FM, phono, auxiliary. Got kind of a little bit of a champagne type look to the finish, not pure silver either, and it looks quite nice with that orange lighting. Now this is just a flat, you know, and it's a fairly clean sounding unit all in all. Now, so you've got some Rolling Stones maybe playing, or the band, or another kind of vintage classic of yours probably will sound pretty decent spinning some vinyl the unit, but I won't say it's the most accurate sounding receiver. I think all in all though, it really does duplicate what most people would say the vintage sound is. May not be your favorite, maybe a little bass heavy, but I think all in all, this unit, just for its looks alone, it's still got to be one of those receivers that if you can find it for $100, grab it. But I would say the average price of one of these units in nice condition, maybe upwards of $150 to $200 Canadian. That would be expected, I would say, for a unit of this condition. So by no means would I say this is a nay, but I'm not going to say it's going to be kind of my top 10 for receivers. So there you have it, a little review on the realistic STA-95. So we're going to give it a reserved yay, just for value and great vintage looks on its own. It's definitely a receiver that you can add easily to your collection, without too much trouble and without breaking the bank, which is certainly one of the things I love to do when it comes to vintage vibe.